He walked on stage already sick, voice trembling, chest tight, breath uneven. Yet Liu Yuning refused to stop. 30 songs. No backing track. And when he finally clutched his chest mid-performance, the crowd didn't scream for more. They begged him to rest. But what he did next broke everyone. The lights dimmed slowly in Nanjing, and the atmosphere felt different from the very first second. There was excitement, yes, but also a strange tension in the air. Something unspoken. When Liu Yuning appeared on stage, fans immediately noticed it. His usual powerful aura was still there, but something in his expression felt heavier. Then he spoke, softly, honestly, almost apologetically. "Today, I have a bit of a flu. Please understand." That one sentence changed everything. The cheers didn't get louder. They softened, turning into concern. But the music started anyway. No backing track. No safety net. Just his raw voice, slightly hoarse, slightly fragile, yet deeply real. And as the first song echoed through the venue, something unexpected happened. The imperfections made it even more emotional. Every crack in his voice, every breath he struggled to control. It didn't weaken the performance. It made it human. Song after song, he continued, not holding back, not cutting corners. The audience began to realize this wasn't going to be an ordinary concert. This was going to be a night of endurance, a night of honesty, a night where an artist chose to stand on stage exactly as he was. And no one was ready for how far he would push himself. As the setlist grew longer, the reality became undeniable. Liu Yuning wasn't just performing, he was fighting. Between songs, he coughed. He reached for water more often. At one point, he even took medicine on stage. And still he didn't stop. The band followed his lead, adjusting subtly. The crowd watched closely, every movement magnified. Because now, every second carried weight. He wasn't just singing lyrics anymore. He was delivering emotions through physical strain. Yet somehow the energy never dropped. If anything, it intensified. Fans began singing louder, not to replace him, but to support him, to carry the moment together. And then came a realization that spread silently across the venue. He was still doing full open mic. Every note, every breath, real. No backing vocals to hide behind. No shortcuts. Over 30 songs on the setlist, and he kept going. It wasn't just impressive anymore. It was overwhelming. Because deep down, everyone could see it. His body was struggling, but his will refused to break. And that contradiction was becoming harder to watch. Then it happened. In the middle of a performance, everything shifted. Liu Yuning suddenly paused. His hand moved instinctively, pressing against his chest. The music didn't stop immediately, but the crowd did. A wave of silence spread across the venue like a shock. He took a step back. His breathing became visible. He reached for water, drinking more than before. And then he turned slightly, signaling to the sound team. A quiet request. A moment of rest. That was all it took. The audience broke. Voices filled the space. Not with screams of excitement, but cries of concern. Just rest. We'll sing for you. Some fans were already in tears. Others raised their phones, not to record, but to light up the darkness. It was no longer a concert. It became a shared emotional moment. A connection so raw that words couldn't fully capture it. For a brief moment, it felt like time had stopped. Everyone was waiting, not for the next song, but for him to be okay. And then he came back. Not fully recovered. Not completely steady, but determined. Liu Yuning stepped forward again, holding the microphone with quiet strength. There was no dramatic speech, no attempt to hide what just happened, just a simple decision. To continue. The music resumed, softer at first, as if the entire stage was adjusting to his condition. But his voice, even fragile, carried something deeper now. It wasn't just performance anymore. It was resilience. Each lyric felt heavier. Each note carried the weight of everything he had just endured. And the audience responded. They didn't cheer wildly. They stayed with him, singing along, supporting. watching every step, every breath. This wasn't about perfection anymore. It was about presence, about showing up even when it's difficult. Song after song, he pushed forward, not recklessly but with purpose. And in that moment, something shifted in the hearts of everyone watching. They weren't just witnessing a singer. They were witnessing a human being refusing to give up. By the time the final notes faded, the atmosphere was no longer just emotional. It was unforgettable. Liu Yuning had completed what seemed impossible. Over 30 songs. Full open mic. While clearly unwell. But what stayed with people wasn't the number. It was the feeling, the vulnerability, the honesty, the silent conversation between him and the crowd. Fans didn't leave talking about vocals alone. They talked about that moment, when he held his chest, when the crowd told him to rest, when the stage turned into something more than music. A space where care replaced expectation. And maybe that's why this night continues to spread across the internet. Not because it was flawless, but because it was real. Because sometimes the most powerful performances aren't the strongest ones. They're the ones where someone chooses to stay, even when everything tells them to stop. And now, one question lingers quietly. If you were there, in that moment, would you have asked him to keep going? Or would you have been one of the voices asking him to rest?